The Dragon Queen sat atop the cliffs overlooking the endless valley. Her scales shimmered in shades of silver and blue, catching the first light of dawn. Her wings, folded tightly against her body, looked heavier than ever. Her eyes, usually bright with the fire of life, were clouded with sorrow. The loss of her young weighed on her heart like a stone. She had been the mother of a clutch of dragonlings. They were born strong and vibrant, but the disease that swept the valley had taken them all. Not one survived. She had scoured the lands for herbs, she had fought off predators and rival clans, and she had prayed to the ancient spirits of their kind. Nothing had saved them. Now she mourned. Days blurred into nights. Nights blurred into days. The Dragon Queen barely moved. She did not hunt. She did not speak. She did not roar. She simply existed, a shadow of the majestic creature she once was. The valley grew quiet. The winds seemed hesitant to disturb her silence. Even the smaller creatures of the mountains avoided her presence, sensing the weight of her grief. Then, one morning, a sound reached her ears that made her lift her head. Footsteps, light, uneven, and small. Not the sound of a beast, not the sound of another dragon. Human. She narrowed her eyes. Humans were rare in this part of the world. Most feared dragons, and rightly so. They rarely ventured into the mountains unless they were hunters or foolish wanderers. She watched as the small figure stumbled over rocks, his tiny frame shaking but determined. A boy. The Dragon Queen's instincts screamed at her to roar and chase him away. She did not. Something about him. She could not explain it. The boy looked up and froze. He was small, not older than 10, with hair the color of autumn leaves and eyes wide with awe. His lips parted, but no sound came out. He had never seen a dragon before, not one of this size and power. The Dragon Queen lowered her head slightly, just enough to show she observed him, not threatened him. He stepped closer. "Hello," he whispered, his voice barely audible against the mountain winds. The Dragon Queen's chest tightened. She had not heard a human speak in what felt like centuries. She tilted her head, examining him. There was courage in his stance, even though his hands trembled. He was small, fragile, and yet he did not run. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice a deep rumble that shook the stones beneath them. The boy blinked. He had not expected her to speak. He swallowed hard. I was lost. I didn't mean to. I was looking for my village." The Dragon Queen's nostrils flared. The boy smelled faintly of firewood and bread. He was harmless, yet something in his scent, perhaps the courage. Perhaps the innocence stirred a long-dormant warmth in her chest. "I have lost mine," she said quietly, more to herself than to him. The boy tilted his head. Yours. "My young," she said. "All of them," he frowned. "I'm sorry." The words were simple, but they carried more weight than any tribute or offering. The Dragon Queen's eyes glistened with unshed tears. She had expected no human to understand the depth of her grief, and yet this small creature, standing before her with open eyes and a gentle heart, had acknowledged it days past. The boy did not leave. He brought small offerings, wild fruits, herbs, even water from a nearby stream. He spoke to her, telling stories of his village, of his life, of the small joys and fears that filled a human child's world. At first, she remained distant. She watched him and occasionally allowed him to approach. But slowly, she began to respond. A tilt of the head, a flicker of her tail. Sometimes she allowed him to sit on her foreleg while he rested. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, the boy asked, Do you ever feel like you could love again?" The Dragon Queen's eyes filled with a storm of emotions. "I do not know," she said. "I thought I had nothing left. Nothing but sorrow." The boy smiled softly. "Maybe you just needed someone to show you that life is still here." It was a simple notion, yet it struck her more profoundly than anything she had heard in centuries. She lowered her massive head until it almost touched the boy. He reached up and placed a small hand on her snout. And for the first time in a long time, the Dragon Queen felt a spark of something she had believed lost forever. Hope. The bond between them grew. The boy learned to ride her back, clinging to her scales as she soared above the valley. He laughed, and she felt warmth bloom in her chest. She listened to his laughter echoing through the mountains, a sound that chased away the shadows of grief. Then came the day when hunters appeared. A band of humans had come to slay the Dragon Queen, hoping to collect her scales and bones for their village. They had not expected a boy to be with her. They did not anticipate the Dragon Queen's fury when she saw them approaching. The boy shouted, trying to stop them. "Do not. She saved me. She is my friend." The hunters laughed. A boy, alone against her. "She is a monster." The Dragon Queen roared. The sound shook the mountains, rattled the hunters' bones, and sent birds scattering into the sky. She leaped from her perch, wings unfurling, and descended upon the intruders with terrifying speed. The boy held on tight. Fear and exhilaration mingled in his heart. He had never seen a dragon fight, never so close. Yet he did not let go. He had chosen to be with her, and now he would stand with her. The hunters fled. Their weapons were useless against her. And when the danger had passed, the Dragon Queen landed softly beside the boy. She lowered her head so that he could touch her. "You are brave," she said. "Braver than many I have known." "I learned from you," he said, smiling. "You taught me courage." She felt something new, something that her heart had not known in a long time. Love, not the love she had felt for her lost young, but a different love. A love for life, for companionship, for the bond between two beings who had found each other when all hope seemed lost. Seasons changed. The boy grew taller, stronger, braver. The Dragon Queen watched over him as he learned the ways of the mountains, the rivers, and the skies. She was his protector, his friend, his family, and he became hers, one day. As they watched the sun rise together, he asked quietly, "Do you miss them?" She nodded. "Every day. They were my heart, but you have given me a new reason to live." He smiled. "And you have given me a reason to believe in magic." The Dragon Queen lowered her massive head and touched him with her snout. In that moment, the valley seemed to hold its breath. The bond between a human boy and a Dragon Queen had changed something ancient, something eternal. Grief had given way to hope. Loss had given way to love, and the Dragon Queen knew that she would never be alone again. They soared into the sky. The boy on her back, laughing as the wind rushed past them. The mountains stretched below, the rivers gleamed like silver threads, and the valley was alive. The Dragon Queen had mourned her lost young, but in the presence of this lone human boy, she had found something even greater, a future, a family, a friend, and the valley would remember them. Long after the echoes of sorrow had faded,